if you're staring at your character sketch and wondering, how do I even start animating this? You're not alone. And no, you don't have to animate the whole thing. It's a huge lift and it's very overwhelming if it's your first time. I know people who feel you need to do full body, clean lines, a million frames, and it's easy to feel like that's the only way to do it right. But here's the truth, you can bring your character to life without animating everything. Hi, I'm Sarmalka. I've been animating for nearly 10 years and even I forget that sometimes. That's why I have this character I created, and I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can bring that spark of life to your character through animation without needing hours or a full setup. So if you want the simplest place to start, let's jump into number 1. Just start with the eyes. If you can animate the eyes blinking or moving from side to side, up, down, it just gives a little bit of life to your character without needing to do a huge lift of turning the head. Also, if you can animate the eyes, then you have a pretty good start to bringing your character to life with a very low lift. I've done other videos like this, but on this character specifically, let me show you how I would do it. Before even doing anything, I would just group everything, then I would go ahead and start separating out my eye elements so they're all in different layers. I'd start by selecting my pupils because I did the silly thing of putting them all in with the outlines, so I have to select it and move it so that the pupils can move on their own. Let me get my drawing glove on. By the way, if you like this drawing glove and you've been searching for one that is not going to leave marks when you press your hand against it, because I've had that happen with other gloves, I've got a link in the description below to it, because we're not going to get into it here. Then I'm going to fix up my outlines because they were all rough since I used the selection tool to take the eyes out so I didn't have to redraw everything. I'm going to fill in the whites so you don't see the head behind. Now I'm adding my mask so that my eyes can sit inside the mask and I can move them around without having to erase and draw every single time. There they go. And now I get to fix my eyes so that they're circular, and once again, saving time. Don't have to draw every single piece again and again. They sit in the mask. I make sure the mask is white. And we are moving on to actually animating. I've got my timeline up. I'm just going to duplicate everything so that this way I don't have to draw everything. By the way, I just remembered something my husband told me. He said this character looks like a teacher. My idea was that she would be a student and she was rebellious and breaking in. I tried to do the triangle pointed hair for that reason. But since you're here and you're watching this, if you want to comment on whether I actually created a teacher or a student, I would love that feedback. I'm always looking for ways to improve my art. Or you can just keep watching this video and find out how I animate these eyes. Since we did all the prep work for the eyes, you can literally just start moving them to the side. You've got that little bit of animation, and I'll play it through for you so you can see. If you want this to look less robotic, you could make your eyes blink and then move. This would also be getting into more adding expressions because you'd be moving eyebrows up or down in surprise or annoyance. I'm going to speed things up here and show you what I mean by drawing the eyes blinking and the eyebrows moving along with, since everything moves together on the face. What do you think? Did it work? This isn't the most polished version that you can do after you spend hours and years learning and honing character animation craft. But this is pretty good for something that you're just trying to get to move. You're just trying to add that little spark of life, and you're not focusing on perfectionism, because that's the one thing that is going to make it impossible to even get started animating a character and moving into more complicated things. But if you do want to get a little more complicated or you want more simple tips, you can sign up for my email list where you can get more like this without searching through the whole internet trying to find something that'll work. Now on to number 2, animating the mouth. This builds on number 1, adding even more expression to your character in a very simple way without the need for the perfectionism or trying to overcomplicate things when you're just trying to add that little bit. And in case you're struggling to figure out what you can do with the mouth, how you can make it move, very simple ways to do is just to have the mouth swish like they're annoyed or they're really thinking hard. If you have more realistic mouths and not such a cartoony version like I have here, the best way that I would advise you to make your character mouth move is separate your mouth into 3 layers. I created this quick little side animation to show you what I'm talking about. You're going to have your mouth separated into 3 layers. It's going to be the top lip, the bottom lip, and the inside of the mouth, which is behind it, would be the bottommost layer to create that illusion. And then you can just move your mouth up, down, open, close, and you can use the transform tool in order to squish it, stretch it, and create your animation that way. So how does it look when the eyes and the mouth animate together? Let me quickly animate my mouth on this character so you can see it all together, and then I will show you the final result. Ta-da! That's how it looks when you have both eyes and mouth. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but this is very basic. It's just about giving that little bit of life. I don't remember if I've ever done anything this complicated before. So I'm still in that learning phase. I'm going to be very transparent about that, but I do have more of an animation background that lets me skip steps of trying to learn things like squash and stretch, ease in, ease out, which are things that you probably want to look up if you really want to animate your characters in a very believable way in the future. Right now, you're just trying to animate and do a little bit of movement and get started. So don't worry too much about those right now. But that does bring me on to the third way that you can animate, because what else can you animate that's super simple if you've already animated the eyes and mouth? What's left to animate? Number 3 is going to depend on your illustration and your character. You can animate an object that's around them. Having a character interact with an object already gives more depth and life to a scene than just having your character stand plainly and not interacting with anything. In my case, I decided that I would animate the keys. They're going to go around and round and round in circle. It's going to look a little choppy. Since the keys are a little bit more complicated, I'm going to use a method that I've been wanting to try for a while, and that's using reference dots. That's where I'm going to put these big dots as the main place where the key is attached to the ring. Then I'm going to have the smaller dots be where the key ends, and that it's going round and round and following through, because the key itself isn't going to stay completely stiff throughout. The bottom part that's attached to the ring is going to be traveling faster than the top part. All right, so there's that. And even though I recommend that you don't do this, I will add a little bit of movement to the arm just for my personal preference. But I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm just using the transform tool to move the arm and switch it up, making it super simple. And let's play it through. So I can see that I will have to go back and redo the glow behind the keys, but not bad. It's a little stiff, could definitely add some more stuff, but overall, to create a simple character and just giving your character that personality, this is a pretty good start, at least in my opinion, and you're more than welcome to agree or disagree in the comments. But I think we can all agree on animating a character is tough, which is why, did you notice what all 3 of the suggestions that I made to you have in common? They're all one thing that you do. You don't try to animate a whole face when you're just starting out and trying to bring life to your characters. You do not try to rotate a body. You do not try to animate the entire key ring where it's tilting this way and that and moving back and forth, plus the keys. is because that's too much to handle when you're just starting out animating. Characters are a big lift. Not joking. But since starting to work in Procreate, I've been able to figure out a few tricks and hacks for traditional animation using my After Effects knowledge. If you want more animation tips and tricks because you enjoyed this video, feel free to sign up to my email list where I can send all of these ideas right to your inbox and you don't have to go searching for it. Or you're more than welcome to watch this video next. It's a lot of fun.